Here and there, Evony would dish out events. Some of the events is pretty bad and some is pretty good. Along the line, eventually one good event will come out. As you can see, there is an event that is going on every other week. I mean, right after SVS. That event is called the Tiered Monarch event or Tiered Monarch Competition. If you go into Event Center, Limited tab, there's going to be a Tiered Monarch Competition tabs. You click on it, click on General Enhancement, or whatever the event is for the current day. There's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and day 7. And day 6 and 7 is an all-out attack. So I'm just going to count it as 1. In every event or every day, there's a different event. And the requirement quest to earn the points is basically listed below. So the thing is this, for you to rank first place and get first place, how are you going to do that? In this video, I will show you tips and tricks on how to get first place and how to maintain your first place in every competition, so you can get a maximum gems of reward, maximum rewards. Now, I have to say this. After releasing this video, of course, a lot of you guys will watch it and do the same thing. So the competition might get stiffened a little bit, there's going to be a lot of people doing the things that I'm showing them. And so if you are a K40 and you're pairing up with K40 on the server or all server, if any of those K40 happen to watch my video, you're basically doing the same thing. So if there's multiple people doing the same thing, it's going to be a tough competition, so you're going to have to strive a little extra harder. But in this video, I'll show you how to do that. And, I hope you will earn the maximum points for this Tiered Monarch competition. Hi, I'm Ghost, and welcome to Ghost Gaming 83. This video is brought to you by Tufgaming Studio. Welcome back, and today's tip and tricks on how to maintain first place in the Tiered Monarch competition. So I have to say this, that on certain events on the Tiered Monarch competition, for example, building troops or gathering days, which is on day 5, especially on the gathering day, there is a take and give. You have to basically gathered all the resource outside of your alliance, but at the same time, if you're joining rallies, and all this stuff like that, and your march slot is taken away, it's pretty hard to do that. But we'll get to it once the event is there. But now we're only focusing on the day 1, which is basically regarding your general. So if you're not in the Tiered Monarch screen, you go to Event Center, and then you're gonna scroll down in the Limited tab and find a tab where it says Tiered Monarch Competition. You're gonna click on it. So basically, for every 1 of blood areas you consume to ascend your generals, you get 10 points for General Enhancement. Every certain XP, you get a certain amount of points. If you use 20k General XP, you get 20 points. And of course, the general recruitment, if you recruited legendary generals, that's 100 points, and so on. Those are basically the quests, the rules on how to get points. So the best way I would do this is when you're running alliance boss or joining a rally with your alliance, what you want to do is you want to join as much as possible. Okay, because joining a rally or defeating a boss will give you either Monarch XP or General XP. Okay, so a lot of time it's not going to show up, but it's in there. You know, don't spend all your General XP on days that is not required. Just wait for the event and then do it. Another best thing to do is go to Battlefield Shop, go to Glory Shop, and basically in here, depending on how many tokens or how many crystal points you have, as you can see, there are General XP. You can buy this for 130 if you need it. You know, let me see if there's any more Monarch. I don't need Monarch. Monarch General for 250 crystal. Okay, so if you're running out of General's XP, you know, Battlefield Shop it's a good place to go to get those General XP, but you're trading in your coins and your crystal for it, and those coin and crystal can be used for your dragons or other things that is important, you know. So once you get it, let's say I'm gonna go to a general. I'm gonna pick out just a specific general that needs XP. Lu Sung. So he is at 33. I don't want to use all of it, so I'm just gonna minimize down to about 15 of this, and then 200 of these. I don't want to automatically first thing is just maximize all the General XP, because there's a reason for that. So I'm just gonna tone it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna use it. Okay, now if I go back to the general to the Tiered Monarch Competition tabs, and then I'm gonna go to the rank. So basically I went up to 14k. You see the first place is 78.7. Okay, the reason why I toned down all the XP and I don't want to use it you know, like at once, is because if I use it all at once, I can land the first place, okay, within the X amount of hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. But there are players, okay, and this involves in everybody. There are players that wait till the last minute, the 5 minutes marked down until it refreshes to a different event. They're gonna use it all out, and then your first place will end up to be 3rd, 4th, or 5th. You know, it depends on how many General XP you have. And so just test it out. Right now I'm in 5th. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna go to that General, and then what I'm gonna do is XP again. I'm gonna tone it down again, this time 29. Tone it down, and now I'm gonna use it. And now I'm gonna go back in to the Tiered Monarch. Okay, so I'm in 3rd. Okay, so I used to be in 5th. Now I'm in 3rd with 36.8. Okay, so when you run out, what happened if you run out of those XP? So if you run out of those XP, you can basically use Ascension. Right now I don't have any more Ascension for this dude, so I'm gonna use someone else. You just find one that have Ascension for this one right here. I have the General token, so I'm gonna use it. Use 100. You know, for you to get Blooded Aries, a lot of Blooded Aries, if you watch my previous video on the Dwarf's Apple update, and so instead of going visiting the witch one time, now you can visit 10 times, you know. And if you accumulate up 100, 200 of those witch's gifts, you open it up, you get a lot. You get 300 or 400 of the Blood Aries. So if you're running out of these and you have a lot of witches pies, use it, you know. Okay, so I did one Ascension, and I'm gonna go back in. Okay, I'm still in 3rd, but you know, it ranked up from 36 to 37.8. So keep on trying to do that, and always remember, just don't all your XP into that general all at once. You know, divide it out, you know, test it out to see where you're at, and just wait for that 2 minute, 3 minutes, or even 5 minute mark until the day's end. Then you're gonna use it all out. And of course, by that time, of course, whoever think that they're in first place, what the general thing is that if I'm in first place, I would think without a doubt I'll be in first place, because no one could beat me within that 2, 3, 4, or 5 minutes left. But if players that monitor the event frequently, of course they're gonna find out, and bam, you know, they're gonna pass you in experience point or points for this event. And that's the day one of the event, is to raise your generals or generals enhancement, enhancing your general. That's day one. Day two of Tiered Monarch Competition consists of development. Let's go into Event Center. Under Limited tab, let's go to Tiered Monarch Competition tab. And it consists of increasing research power by 1. So when you do your research and you complete that research, you get 8 points, depending on the power of your research. And of course, if you consume 1 minute of the speed up on the research to complete, you get 0.1. Increased building power, 12 points. That is after you finish upgrading your building, and the minute uses the speed up for upgrading your building. And of course, 1 refining stone gives you 2 points. So let's go over it. I already, since the Tiered Monarch competition is tied into the resource consumption, I already upgrade my K42 to K43 to get all the resource and items from the resource consumption back into my inventory. And of course, during that time, I have not used my speed up to finish my K43. So that means I have not given the point for the building power and the minute use. Instead, you can use to upgrade or advance your refinery. So refining, so you go to the items and then you just refine it. Okay, give me a minute. So when you refine it, you're using your refining stone, and it says on the rules that for each of the refining stones that you use, you get 2 points. So I used to be 6 million, now 6.8 million. So I'm rank 1. And also, prior to that, I did an upgrade on my research for the super range troops blessing from level 20 to level 25. So once that research is done, I also use my speed up on that research to complete it. So that boosts me up to 6.8 million. And what happened is that with all the total points that add up, I know it's a little bit early. So you have to monitor your placement. By the end of the day, before the server resets into day 3 of the competition, just make sure within that 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so to monitor your placement. If you're falling behind to rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, just go in and do some research or do some refining in your gears, your generals, etc. And it should help you. It should help place you in the first placement. Okay, so you got to remember, this competition is you're not only playing by yourself, you're playing with other players, which is currently at your keeps level. Okay, so it's a little competitive, I know, but you know, you can make it through to first place. And first place, depending on your castle level, will get you that certain amount of gems. If you're at my castle level, K42, you will get 117 of the 1000 gems. And that's day 2 of development event for Tiered Monarch competition. Day 3 of the Tiered Monarch competition consists of training troops. So we're on day 3 right now, and the quest to earn points is just training troops itself. one of the level 1 troop will give you 10 points, all the way to one of the level 17 will give you 4,100 points. The thing about this is that you're basically consuming a lot of resources, okay, just to crank out troops. That means your speed ups, whether if it's general speed ups or your troop training speed up, it doesn't count in this event. Only the amount of troops you crank out. Your resource to use in the troop training doesn't really count either. So if I go into ranking right now, the first place is 24.3 billion points. Second is 3.9 billion points. Third is 735 million points. That's absurd. The only reason I could think of is because this week is resource consumption week, and for you to get these points, you have to dish out a load of resources to gain back resource. But if you think about it, if I go into my barrack and if I train this tier of mine at 51,000 troops at a cost of 1.2 billion food, or it doesn't matter if I go into Archer, 50,000 troop, 1.1 billion wood. The thing is, if I train 500,000 troops, that's gonna cost me 20 billion food. On top of the 20 billion food, you have 386 million stone and ore. So that's roughly around 5 to 10 billion of the stone and ore. If you add it together, I'm just estimating the stone and the ore. If you add 20 billion with on top of the 10 billion, you're spending 30 billion of the resource. And what you get back, if you finish all the resource consumption, you get back roughly about 5 billion resources. Okay, you get other things like staminas, speed ups, you know, was this soul crystals, all those stuff like that, all those goodies. But the resource to compensate for the 30 billion you spent, you don't get back much at all. And if I go in here, if I go in Tiered Monarch Competition tab, when I look at the ranking, 24.3 billion, that's absurd. That's a lot. Normally, if I do PvP, I'll crank out the troops, but I'll crank out on a day where either resource consumption is there or troop training on day 3 of the Tiered Monarch competitions. But you got to remember, you're using your speed up too, and I personally think that it's better to use your speed ups on events, you know, like sprint speed up event. That's beneficial for you. If I don't know, I just think with day 3, I'm not going to participate because I'm not going to spend 30 billion resources to crank out to get to at least in par with 24 billion points. You know, that's a waste of my resource. I'm about to go to K43 wall, so the amount of resource I want to reserve, that's very important to me. So not unless you do PvP, crank out all the troops you have because you don't have that many, go ahead and do it, you know. But if you're focusing on your castle, you know, your buildings should be a priority. Okay, so even though on resource consumption, use that resource to upgrade your building, and then wait until the speed up consumption, use your speed up to finish the building. Okay, as for the Tiered Monarch competition itself, I am staying out of the troop training on day 3. I will also stay out on the food collection event on day 5, and once that event comes, I will cover it. But for now, I'm not participating in the troop training competition, and that's one of the Tiered Monarch competition that I will not stay out. So there are 7 days, and if I take out 2 of those competition, I would guarantee to receive first place and get about 550,000 of the 1,000 gems. Okay, so that's day 3 on a troop training. On the 4th day of Tiered Monarch Competition, your challenging boss. Let's go to Event Center. Under Limited, go down to Tiered Monarch Competition, and to get the point, you either consume 1 stamina to defeat boss monster as the Alliance War participant. So if you join your Alliance rally, you get 1 point. You get 2 points per 1 stamina. So let's say you're attacking a boss and it consumes 40 staminas. 1 of those 40, 1 point in the 40 will give you a 2 points gain. If you consume 1 stamina by defeating a boss monster as the Alliance War initiator, meaning that if you yourself initiate the Alliance War, you get 10 points for 1 of those 40 staminas, whichever how much stamina the boss costs. But what's unique about this event, this challenging boss event, is that if you have a very active alliance, my alliance is not active right now, but whichever bosses you rally, so your alliance basically rally any boss whether you're on or not. The great thing about the new setting that Evony implemented, the auto join, which you pay $9.99 for it. If you're using your phone, just leave your phone on all the time and it automatically joined, and you get the point automatically. Now here's a little tip. If you take a look at what it says defeating boss monsters. So this is not necessarily bosses. You can also attack and defeat monster like this small little guy right here, level 21. If I go into Tiered Monarch, I go to ranking. So I've been joining rallies with an automation with automatic rally, and so far I have 33.9k. I'm in 3rd place. So I know that these guys, this 1st and 2nd place, what these guys does is that they attack little monsters to get their points, because there's no way that you can get 44k rallying all the time. Okay, so I'm at 33.9. I'm going to send some unit to attack these small monsters, and you can do it the same time you're rallying. For example, if your unit is rallying 2 bosses, so that left you with 4 slot march slot, and let's say for example each boss is like 40 points, so two bosses like 80 staminas uses. So each of these monsters, doesn't matter what level it is, you're using 6 staminas. So the good and the bad about running these small boss and the big boss is that these small boss right here, when you attack it only from your keep to those monsters is only 15 seconds max. But if you're joining a rally, okay, or you initiate a rally for the big boss, it would take you 5 minutes because you're waiting for everybody to join it, okay, or you're waiting for that march to start, and then it depends on the distance where that boss is. So it could be like a minute, 2 minute max, and then from then you're gonna have to come back, which is a minute or 2 minute max. So basically you spent about 9 minutes total. Okay, so instead of hitting the boss, hit all these monsters right here, and every monster, doesn't matter what level it is, could be 19, could be 15, they will give you 6 points, and the return going to the boss and then returning is like 15 seconds. So I've been hitting those a couple of monsters, and I go in. My point is 34.5. It used to be 33. You see, so this event, it's a pretty easy event. If you need some extra points, just hit those monster, and those monster gives you points. So each monster, doesn't matter what level it is, it will give you 6 staminas, meaning that you're using 6 staminas to attack it. Now, if you pay attention or you go back, if you consume 1 stamina, okay, if you're participating in an alliance rally, you get 2 points per stamina. If you're initiator, meaning that you just go and attack, give you 10 points per stamina. So in this case, I'm just going attacking monster, and each of those monster is using 6 staminas. So I'm looking at 60 point, right, per 15 second. Okay, going back and forth, so 30 second. And you know, if I have 6 march slot, I could get up to about 4k, you know, per 30 seconds. Okay, so this event is pretty much, it's an easy win. Okay, just monitor your ranking, and then if you need points, just hit those monsters like crazy, and to the point where you're depleting all the monsters around you. What happens is that you just go and port outside of your hives somewhere where there's a collective monster, there's a bunch of monster, and then just start hitting him, and your point will rise through the rift. And I guarantee with this technique, you will land first place. But if someone is active more than you, it's a little bit of a competition right there. So, you know, if you want first place, you got to put in the work. And that is day 4 of the Tiered Monarch Competition, which is challenging the boss. Day 6 of the Tiered Monarch Competition consists of all-out attack. What this event is that it's a PvP event. So there's 2 sides of this. If your server is a toxic server and KE, which is kill event, is happening every single day, you have no problem getting points for this event. Okay, so 1 troop you kill of the level 1 will give you 2 points, all the way down to 1 troop of the level 17 give you 880 points. So right now my alt have a level 13 troops, which is 483 if I kill 1 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize my alt to get the point. The whole thing about alts is it's there for a reason. It's there to basically help you extract the resource that you need to supply to your main, so you can do the upgrades and all the stuff like that. So you will have enough resources to do all these to be productive for your main account. A lot of people uses alt and they level the alt up to have about roughly 4 billion, 5 billion power level. Hey, you know, that's up to you. Probably you're pulling your alt into Battleground 2 and you're you know, capturing flags and all the stuff like that. That's great, but I don't do that. So I utilize my alt to extract the resource coming from my alt to my main. As you can see on the screen right here, what happened is that I'm sending my alt into a secluded area. I'm going to send out a certain amount of alts, so certain amount of troops, and 1 specific troop will be there, and then I'm going to send the attack, right? And then afterward, what happened is that I'm going to go back in the Tiered Monarch Competition, and as you can see, my point grew. Okay, I skipped, here's the thing, I skipped day 3 and day 5. I kind of participate in day 3, cranking out training troops, but I didn't get first place, probably like 6th place or something like that. But I don't want to use resources. I'd rather use my resources to upgrade my buildings instead of just cranking out troops. That's not my main focus for my account right now. My main focus is to get all those buildings up you know, and building troops later on. I have tons of resources to do it later on if I need it, but right now my focus is on the maximum level of my account buildings, and then buffs and all the stuff like that. I also did not participate in day 5, which is the resource competition. I just imagine this: if a level 10 resource tile, you sent your troops to collect them, they're gonna give you, it's gonna give you 10 million resources. It's gonna take roughly about 3 hours to collect all 10 million resource, depending on how fast your gathering is. But imagine this: if you were to hit one boss, that's gonna take you 5 minutes, 1 minute going to the boss, depending how fast your march speed is, or the person who initiate the rally, or just you yourself. 1 minute going to the boss, 1 minute coming back, so 7 minutes. Okay, if you're solo attacking the boss, it's gonna take you roughly 2 minutes. So let me open up my inventory back. Now let's say I hit one Imperial Warlord. I open up the chest. Okay, I will receive food, lumber, stone, ore, and then many other goodies, right? But let's focus on the resource compared to the resource gathering. Okay, I'm getting 21 of each of those resource bucks, right? That's 2.1 million in 2 minutes if you're soloing, and 7 minutes if you're rallying. Okay, so you get 2.1 million, and you have 6 march slot. Okay, so imagine that in an hour, how many resource can you receive from attacking boss instead of gathering resource for this event? So I just think that this event, I mean the day 5 event for resource collection is pretty much obsolete for me. I'm not joining it because it costs too much, and I'm talking about resource. Instead, the all-out attack, which is day 6 of the event, it's a pretty easy, it's a win. It's a win-win. You know, utilize your alt. That's my hint to you. Okay, if you're on a server that has truth, utilize your alt, attack your alt. Make sure though that you have a lot of resources to compensate the healing. Okay, because if you don't have any resource at all, and you know your unit's gonna be in the hospital, right, and you're gonna have to heal it, right? So the larger amount of troops, or how many troops you have in your alt, it's that, you know, will place you in the placement of where you're gonna be. Okay, so that is it on my Tiered Monarch Competition tips and tricks and hints on how to get first place majority of the time. It can be all the time. It's up to you, you know, how productive you are, and if you're basically watching this event carefully and monitoring this event the end of the day. You know, if by the time around 11 o'clock or so, check out on the Tiered Monarch ranking to see if you fell down the rank. If you are, do this, you know, do the tips that I showed you, and you climb back up too. Now I know that after releasing this video of mine, a lot of people are gonna watch it, so it's gonna be a little tough. The competition is gonna be rough, because it's not only you now, okay, that knows these tips and tricks, but many other people. So they're gonna implement the same strategy as you. So, you know, I mean, just be competitive. Okay, that's all I have for you for this video. And my name is Ghost, and of course you're watching Ghost Gaming 83, and I'll see you in the next tips and tricks or tutorial on Evony. Peace out, y'all.